Words have impact. Some say words are things. Listen, if you want to innovate, you have to choose your words carefully. But why? That's this week on the Badass Agile podcast. Greetings, team. Welcome to the Badass Agile podcast. I'm your host, Chris Williams. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you once again for joining. Thanks to all the new listeners and to the loyal followers and true believers who have been here since day one. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being part of this with me. Why do words matter? Well, first, let's remember why we're here. To create an elite tribe of leaders who truly serve their clients and communities by doing what matters and what works, relentlessly chasing value and excellence like a badass. There's so many resources about what you need to do to be agile, but we're focused on who you need to become in order to lead teams. So let's hammer down those fundamentals to create a unique and powerful force in this industry. And if this helps you, tell your friends. Don't forget to check out my daily Agile inspirations for leaders by subscribing to my email list. You'll get a preview of next week's posts and a free video to help you align your week with strength and focus delivered right to your inbox. You can also submit coaching questions, all at badassagile.com. So go sign up and post your questions today. Sometimes I say words don't matter, meaning that body language, intonation, micro expressions make up a big part of how a message gets communicated. So the words you choose matter less, but that doesn't mean they don't matter at all. Quite the opposite. Words carry emotion. The word sorry is different than apologize, or regret. Died is different than expired or passed on. So if you want to convey emotion, you have to be able to choose the right words for the right situation. And you can learn the language that's right for influencing people and inspiring change, either by being in a state of pure creativity and noticing not only the words that come out of your mouth in that state, but the words that cross your mind. I tend to hear my thoughts as speech in my head. If you do too, you probably have a similar experience. When you feel excited and creative, stop the wheels in your head for a minute and just listen to the words you speak to yourself. Notice what you hear. Or alternately, listen to people whom you admire because they're innovators, either speaking when they're in the room with you, or perhaps watch a clip of a presentation by someone you admire and respect as a pioneer or leader. What language do they use to describe their motivations, their mindset, their state, their source of happiness and fulfillment, their obstacles, their definitions of success? Because words carry emotion, there's two important things to remember. Number one, the associations that we make between emotions and words are learned, they're cultural, and they become automatic over time. Therefore, the words you choose are a reflection of your internal state. They're rarely calculated choices. Like body language, they're an expression of what you're thinking and feeling in the current moment. And for the same reasons, the words you choose have impact on the people who hear them. Subconsciously, words can lift people up or give them cause to fear and hesitate simply because of the associations we make between words and the states that they represent. So if words can change your state, then let's look at how words can help you influence yourself and the others around you to move from a place of fear and apprehension to a place of innovation. Let's compare the words that an innovator might use versus the one that everyone else might choose in the same situation. An innovator might say, leap, go, try, whereas everyone else would say, wait, stop, don't. An innovator will use words like enabled, power. Everyone else will say permission and approval. Innovators use words like experiment, failure, validated learning. Everyone else uses words like risk, safe, certain. An innovator will use words like lead, take charge, go first. Everyone else uses words like follow. Innovators use words like change. When everyone else uses words like do as we've always done, same. Innovators use words like will, where everyone else uses words like won't, maybe, see, look. Do you see the differences between the two? If you were listening carefully, you may have noticed a gut reaction to each of those words. Maybe the innovator words sound thrilling to you. If nothing else, they sound future-looking, inspiring, and based on action, whereas the everyone else words sound like places of comfort, safety, and frankly, inaction. So now that you know you have to make better word choices and what some of those better word choices look like, here's what you need to do this week. Make sure that every speech and conversation that you have creates positive associations with and is laced with innovator word choices. And carefully make sure that you avoid the poor word choices, but not just in your speeches and in your directions to people, but every time you ask people to speak for themselves, ask them to frame their speech or answers with these new words. Because see, here's the thing. It's not just the language that you use and how it lands on other people that inspires them to behave in certain ways and to feel certain things. But keep in mind, the language that you personally choose influences yourself too. So if a person is risk-averse and they continue to use risk-averse language, it propagates and promotes those risk-averse feelings. Conversely, if you can force them to choose different language, it can change their mindset and their emotions on the spot. So here's how you do that. In a stand-up, ask the question, what will you do? Do you see how that sentence contains two important words, will and do? Not what might you try, or what are you shooting for, or where do you think we might get to, but what will you do avoids the uncertainty of words like might and maybe. And furthermore, when they answer that question, insist on answers that start with the words I will, or I will certainly, or I will definitely. Now, you can do this in the stand-up, but you can also do it when you're creating daily or weekly visions or intentions or themes. Use the words, we will lead the organization by boldly exploring the following possibilities. Or, this week, we will make the following changes real. Because if you don't force people to use that language, here's what will happen. I recently did a session with a group where we tried to solve some real problems using radical solutioning. And we got everyone to the point where they could not only identify the problems they most wanted to solve, but the solutions that they thought were most likely worth trying, which is a great place to get to. But then when we started subtasking them, that is to say, what are the 3 to 5 things you can do in the next week that'll move the dial, that will move you closer to your solution becoming real? They continue to use the language of cautionary corporate culture. They continue to say, well, we'll ask our executive for approval. We'll ask for alignment. We'll fully document the risks and fully document the requirements, and we'll get that reviewed. So they're thinking not only in ways that are traditional, but they're using traditional words to express it. And you can short circuit that by simply asking people to say, this week we'll make the following changes real. I will certainly deliver this. I will definitely complete that. Try injecting the practice of powerful words into your daily work and see what kind of changes it makes in your teams and your outcomes. Folks, thank you for listening. You can reach out at badassagile.com or find me on Twitter at @badass_agile. I'll see you next time. And until then, stay badass.